Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and it's Micro Machine March. So today I'm looking at the Star Wars Micro Machines ARC 170 Starfighter. Very cool. This ship came out in 2015 for the Droid Army Ambush set, and this ship premiered predominantly in Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith as sort of a precursor to the X-Wing. It did have some S-foils and R2 in it, and I really liked it. I thought it was a great design. It was big. It kind of looked like a fighter version of the Republic gunship, and it didn't just have one pilot. It had a couple people in here. So it was pretty nice. It even had an aft gun on the back, so that way you could shoot people in back of it. It was really neat and interesting, and I really liked that Hasbro made it for the Micro Machines line. Now for the size, this thing is under 1.5 inches long, but wide it's over 2 inches, so it's a nice size fighter. So we have a lot to talk about with the paint and mold, so let's get right to the review. And here we have the mold of the ARC 170 Starfighter. In my opinion, one of the more interesting designs, sort of linking what's new in the prequels to what we see in the original trilogy. With these S-foils, of course, are filled in here because it's one chunk of plastic. But these wings would pop out like an X-wing, and you could see where it was starting to turn into what we would see with the Rebellion with the X-wing, and then the Force Awakens with their new one. And the same thing with the V-wing. The V-wing had the wings that came out on the side. The Jedi Starfighter, the Interceptor, had the wings that opened up like a TIE fighter. So it was all leading to designs we know and love. And for that, I like this a lot. First, the engines are very similar to an X-Wing, except these are big. I love the big engines. Very nice. We have some detail in there. For the wings themselves, just a lot of lines, little recesses. The engines are very nicely detailed. Just a great job. For coming down the side next to this big long cockpit, we have some nice lines here, a little molding, a couple recesses, R2 unit. Real nice gun in the back. And we have our main cannons, which are molded pretty well. Nice job on them. And the front has some detail too. We have some molded lines in there. Pretty sweet. For the underneath, we have our peg port, copyright crap. Just lots of nice lines. The underneath right here. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a gun. I forget. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below. This section right underneath here. I don't know. And one neat thing is, what I like about this design a lot is you have this big front piece, like a beak. And underneath, it wedges down and then has this little section right here that fans out. And I don't know, I like that a lot. I think it's a pretty unique little detail, and I've never seen it in another ship. And that just about does it for the mold. I think I covered everything. It has a lot of detail, just hard to make it out. That's all I have to say about that. It could have used something to make it pop. Having said that, let's take a look at the paint. For the paint, we only have a couple colors. The first one is this off-white or extremely light gray, whatever you want to say. And that's on the main body coming down. It's on the sides and underneath. It's what the plastic is molded in. Then we have our Republic maroon/red on the tips of the wings. Nose cone right there. Well, it ain't really a cone, but you know what I mean. Down the sides, the engines. And on the bottom, you can see it's also on the engines. Pretty sharp. And lastly, we have black on the main cannons, the engines, the cockpit. Very nice. The back of the engines right here, where my fingers are. And underneath, the rest of the engines are painted. Very cool. I like the paint job on here. I think they did a nice job. With all the detail I mentioned, it would have been cool with a little black wash to bring all that out. But for what it is, I think they did a good job. Just like most Hasbro Micro Machines, they do not come with a stand. Luckily, I have some extras. Just peg it in the port like so. And you're good to go. For comparison, I have it next to the original X-Wing by Galoob, and they go well together. For an added bonus, I decided to compare it with the Republic V-Wing and also the Republic gunship. Very nice. These are all from Hasbro. And they're all from the same time period and share the same colors with that maroonish red and light gray or off-white. Very nice. Awesome job, Hasbro. Great detail, great paint. Could have used a little black wash, like I keep mentioning, to make all these thins pop. But they are what they are, and they are pretty cool. And that does it for my review today of the Star Wars Micro Machines ARC 170 Starfighter. Now, this ship came out in the Droid Army Amber set in 2015, and I reviewed, I would say, almost all the ships, if not all of them, in this whole month. I'm a huge fan of the designs here, and this one's no exception. Could it have been better for the size? I doubt it. The only thing that could have made this better was extra paint on it. But for what it has, it's amazing. It's a great little ship, and it fully represents what it's supposed to be. Now, for price, you could get this in the set. I have seen one or two of these left. They are disappearing now. It's mostly Rogue One stuff. But you could get this set for a little over $9 now. On Amazon and eBay, you could definitely get it cheaper. You just gotta shop around, and it's worth it. It's a great ship, and it goes well with the collection. And that's basically all I have to say about that, so thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button, and remember, it's Micro Machine March, so that's a new Micro Machine review every day until March 31st, 2017. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.